Take a good look around you. Everyone is talking. Everyone is sharing. Everyone is trying to prove themselves. Look what I've done. Look where I am. Look how hard I've worked. Look who I am. And you're just watching them, silently. But have you ever stopped to think, how many of these people who shout so loudly, show off so much, and demand so much attention are truly strong? How many are truly respected? How many have left their mark on history? You know the answer. Caesar thought before he spoke. Machiavelli wrote, but he never shouted. Marcus Aurelius's most powerful words were in his own journal, written not for the world but for himself, because true power doesn't take the stage. True power directs the stage, from behind the scenes, silently, unseen. And that's exactly why we're here today. Why did the men who truly left their mark on history remain silent? What did silence mean to them? And you, why are you still talking? The answers to these questions are in this video. But first, let me say this. This channel releases truths like this every week. Most people aren't even ready to hear them. But you came here. That alone shows you're different. If you're ready, subscribe. And let's continue. Write this in the comments. Silence is my weapon. Silence is not weakness. It is a choice. What do people think when they see you being silent? He has nothing. He has nothing to say. He's insecure, shy, weak. And you feel that look. A pressure builds inside you to fill that silence. Say something. Show yourself. Otherwise, you'll be misunderstood. Stop. Do you know where that pressure comes from? It's an evolutionary reflex. Thousands of years ago, being ostracized from the tribe meant death. The silent man was perceived as a threat or ignored. And the brain still carries that fear. It's still running on the same software, but you no longer belong to that tribe. A lion waits for hours before catching its prey. It makes no sound. It doesn't move. It just watches, observes, calculates. And when the exact right moment comes, a single move, it's over. Was that waiting a sign of weakness? Was that silence a sign of insecurity? No. That silence, it was a strategy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Before you speak, listen to what the silence is telling you." Most people feel compelled to fill the silence. When there's a pause, they panic. They say something immediately, share something immediately, put themselves out there immediately. Why? Because they can't exist without attention. Attention is their oxygen. Without it, they suffocate. But the truly strong man operates differently. When that man speaks, everyone stops. Because that man doesn't speak all the time. When that man shares, everyone pays attention. Because that man doesn't share everything. His presence is felt. Because he isn't everywhere. Silence isn't a burden to him. Silence is a choice. And those who can choose are always stronger than those who cannot. Write this in the comments. I choose. I remain silent. The fate of those who beg for attention. Look at social media. Every day, thousands of people are stuck in the same cycle. A motivational post at 7 a.m., a working photo at noon, a philosophical quote at 9 p.m. And then they wait. Will I get a like? Will there be a comment? Did they see me? Did they approve of me? This is begging for attention. And the market for the beggar is always worthless. Think about it this way. There are two sellers in a market. One steps in front of the customers, grabs their arms and shouts, "Buy, buy! Look how beautiful! Look how good!" The other stands in front of his shop, silent, confident. His products are out in the open. He doesn't even look. Which one do you trust? Which one's products do you think are valuable? Machiavelli saw this 500 years ago. Everyone sees what is visible. Very few sense what is real. The more the attention seeker is visible, the more ordinary he becomes. The brain no longer processes what it sees every day. It filters it out. It lets it pass. Because the ordinary is not a threat, is not an opportunity, is not interesting. but the silent man. When that man enters the room, something changes. People pay attention without even realizing it. Shoulders turn, eyes drift, voices quiet down. Why? Because that man is rare, and what is rare is valuable. Always, in every age, in every culture. This is an unchanging law. Write this in the comments. I will be the rare one. Kings never revealed their plans. Do you have a goal? Don't tell anyone. What do most people do when they get excited? They tell everyone. I'm going to do this. I'm going there. I'm going to make this money. I'm going to start this business. And those around them nod. Wow, that's great. A little applause, a little approval. And then, most of the time, it doesn't happen. The goal remains unfulfilled. The plan falls apart. And that person waits for the next excitement to share it. Why does this happen? The brain plays an interesting trick. The moment you tell someone else about a goal, your brain perceives that goal as partially achieved. It releases dopamine. It feels satisfied, as if you've already taken a step, and that false sense of satisfaction. It kills the real hunger that drives you to act. But there's another danger, a bigger one. People who know your intentions prepare. Even someone who loves you might unknowingly become an obstacle. Are you sure? Isn't it too hard? Is now the right time? These questions may come from good intentions, but each one is a wall that knocks you off your momentum. Your competitors prepare. Those who underestimate you prepare. Those who put obstacles in your way prepare. Baltasar Gracian wrote, "Knowledge is power, but hidden knowledge, that is absolute power." Men who left their mark on history built in silence. They moved forward in silence. They grew in silence. And only after they finished, only after creating an undeniable reality, did they speak. Not before the move, after the success. Write this in the comments. My moves are silent. My results speak for themselves. Build in silence. Rome wasn't built in a day, and no power was built in a single night. But have you noticed something? No one was shouting while Rome was being built. No one was saying, "Look what we're doing, look how hard we're working." The stones were laid in secret and in silence. The walls rose silently. The roads stretched out silently. And one day, the world turned, and Rome was there. In today's world, everyone wants to show off the process. I got up at 5 a.m. today. I worked 14 hours today. I learned this today. As if the process were as important as the result. As if showing effort were success itself. No. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let not the sound of your actions drown out the sound of your thoughts." The man who builds in silence does something different. He doesn't waste energy outwardly. He directs all that energy inward, toward the work, toward the goal. There's no energy spent on shouting. There's no time spent waiting for approval. Just work, just progress, just quiet, consistent, relentless building. And when he's finished, he no longer has to prove himself. He no longer has to defend himself. He no longer has to explain himself. The result stands there. And the result, that is the strongest argument. No one can object to a completed reality. Write this in the comments. I am building. The world is waiting. Don't undervalue your presence. I'm going to ask you a question. Among the people you know, who is the one you see the least but wonder about the most? Now think. Really think. Did that person's face come to mind? Now ask yourself, why is that person on your mind? Why are you curious about them? Why do you talk about them, even when they're not there? Because they're not everywhere. Because they don't share everything. Because you don't know when they'll appear or when they'll disappear. Because you can't fully read them. And what you can't read, you can't let go of. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince must make himself scarce so that when he appears, everyone stops. The man who attends every meeting becomes ordinary. His voice blends into the background noise. The man who joins every discussion becomes predictable. The man who answers every question becomes controllable. Because they've read him, they've mapped him out. There are no more surprises. There is no more curiosity. There's no allure left. But what about the selective man? When that man enters the room, the energy shifts. Voices quiet down. Eyes turn. Because his presence isn't guaranteed. His attention isn't for everyone. His time, it's something to be earned. Don't devalue your presence. Don't be everywhere. Don't answer everything. Don't open up to everyone. Just be yourself, but not to everyone. Be selective, be rare, and watch how you gain value. Write this in the comments. My presence is a privilege. The power of the silent man is unbreakable. I'm telling you the ultimate truth. People cannot control what they cannot read. They cannot manipulate what they cannot control. And what they cannot manipulate, they respect. This cycle has only one starting point. Silence. Hide your reactions. Hide your plans. Hide your pain. Hide your excitement. Hide your success until it becomes undeniable. Until it reaches a point where no one can call it luck. Because the man who reveals everything gives his map to his enemy. And an enemy with a map will take you wherever he wants. He knows which word will anger you. He knows. He knows which topic will push you to defend yourself. He knows. He knows when you'll give up. But what about the enemy without a map? He walks in the dark, and the man walking in the dark cannot find you. He cannot predict you. He cannot control you. This was Machiavelli's darkest and deepest observation. Power lies not in action, but in eliminating the need for action. You can win without moving. You can influence without speaking. You can rule without fighting. All you have to do is learn when silence speaks the loudest. Write this in the comments. I am silent. I cannot be broken. In this video, you've faced 6 truths. Silence is not weakness. It is a choice. Those who seek attention lose their value. Kings do not reveal their plans. Power is built in silence. Presence is not cheapened. And the power of the silent man cannot be broken. These are not just words. They are the code of life for men who have left their mark on history. They were not written down. They were not taught. But they were practiced, silently, consistently, ruthlessly. Most people aren't ready for this. They want to be seen. They want to be understood. They want to be validated. And with every desire, they become a little more predictable, a little more controllable, a little more ordinary. You watched this video all the way through. That alone sets you apart. If you want to go deeper, to learn the invisible mechanics of power games, the unwritten rules of human psychology, and the advanced layers of silent authority, subscribe. Turn on notifications, because the next video goes even deeper.